here what they want is, they want to create one application, so they want to provide us one data, and based upon the data we want to create case in our application, like claims entry. Okay, so they have some JSON data with all the things, and then maybe at least it will go to the claimant details. Okay, so in the claimant details, what do we have? Save and run. Yeah, maybe they want to provide some claim type, claim name, such these things. Okay, so when they submit it, I think your phone number also we need to give. Yeah, something like that, claim entry and all those things they want it. Okay, so how do we provide this, and how are we going to create a case for this claim entry? So to do this, we need, as I said you, right, we need one service test, because on this application only we want service test, because someone from the external application, external person want to create a case based on the data given to them. Okay, so what we do now is we will go to the records and create integration services service rest. Okay, so you can see here create account is also there, which is doing the same thing. Update, I think, yeah, which we took that, right? Update account. If I open this update account, you can see here obj save, whatever the data which we have provided, that is getting right now here. So how are we getting the data? We are saying account number itself here, we are writing everything into the account details. Okay, so once we provide this account details, it is going to update our account details with respect to this particular param dot account number. Okay, so yeah, we don't want this now. Let's create a service request. So whenever we are creating a service request, we need one service name to be added. Okay, so what is our service name over here is claims entry, right? So I'll give it as C entry. Okay, and what's the package, in which package you want to create, that we have to provide. So we have already a package created for us, it's a claim. So whatever the service REST is using will follow, is like it will follow that authentication and all those things, it will follow that. So C entry claims we have, and service version you want to give, you can give it as 010101, or you can provide simply v1 version 1. Okay, and if you want to provide any template, URL template, we can add component over here. Okay, so
what is version 1, version 2?
It's like simple, it's like you are creating 2-3 service test rules. First version you are having that version as v1, and next you want to create another version. So same service test rule, you want to again modify certain things and you want to change it to version 2. That is what your version names, that's it. So I am giving one,
anything, right?
Anything you can give, like 01.01.01, yeah, which is you know, a proper one. It's not simply you are giving A1, A2, A3. You can give A1, A2, A3 also. It's not, it will not give you any error. Okay, so it's up to us. How are you going to you know, like identify it? So if you say version 1, it will be v1, it will be easy for us, right? And you can provide a URL template. So I'll give it as claims entry, or I'll say claims. Okay, there are two things here, literal and variable. So variable is the one which you want to give your what do you say, value, any value if you want to provide, then you give a variable. It's simply like your URL will have this claims, means you can use literal over here. Okay, so like this claims. So what happens, you know, your URL will be showing as HTTP localhost 8080 PR web, and these all things it should be shown now. Okay, this is identifier which is given by default by Pega only. So let's create. I'm creating it in the branch. Okay, create and open. If you want to create it in ints, yeah, claims app in TS. So for service rest rule, another thing is, how do you, another interview question they would be asking is, how do you create a service rest rule through wizard? They will be asking like this. We can say that simply that service rest rule does not have any wizard to create. We have to create everything manually. Okay, so resource name, it took already automatically, it took work class. So yeah, this particular service rest will be created under your class, and you can see here, right? So PR web API claims, and your version is v1, and this is the literal which you already added as claims. Okay, do you have any uh, parameters to be added over here? You can add it. Okay, so another thing is, if you want to end your service rest rule after completion, you can select this particular end request when done. Okay, so if you want to make your method as read only, then you go for this option, method read only. You want anything help, you can click on this get help, and it will give you all the details, like what is the purpose of each and everything under processing options and all those. God. Yeah, so execution mode, how do you want to execute this? You want to execute this simultaneously at the time of calling it. You can go for execute synchronously, and if you want to queue this, you can go for execute asynchronously, and whenever there is an error and you want to make it go with synchronously also, then if there is an error and you want to queue it, they can even, you can use this particular execute synchronously whenever your queue is on, whenever there is an error. So you can make it into this. So mostly we'll be using execute synchronously only. So this is also one of the interview question which will be asking for us. Okay, see, other one is enable service SLA with fallback activity. So for this, what they would be asking, enable service SLA with fallback activity. Okay, so question would be like this. So you are calling a service, but that service is not responding. Then how do you make sure that your service will be retried? Okay, how it will be retried after 30 seconds or 30 minutes or 20 minutes, like that. So do we configure anywhere like that? Like what I said now, right? So it's not like that, right? Your service rest rule will only call one time, right? Not multiple times. If you only hit, then only it will it will be called. But without hitting it, if something is getting fall, and what do you say, something is getting if what I want to say is, your service test got failed in between, or it is taking some lot of time to execute. So what happens is, your this service test will automatically, it will not finish it right properly. So at that time, if you want to retry again, then what you do is, you will be using this option called as enable service SLA with what do you say, fallback activity. Okay, so at this particular time, you can see here how many times you can use violations, how many times you have violations, so how many times you want to retry it. These things you can add it, right? Understood? So this is important. Here you can add hard coded values, or if you have anything in your application settings, you can use that application settings also here in this. Okay, those values you can use in your application settings also. Okay, so application settings would be like this. Here it will have, if you see sysadmin, there is an application settings. So here you can create application settings. Okay, in the development, you need to provide the values. And the development, what are the value you want to provide, you can provide it. Okay, like 10, it is like 10 seconds. Okay, so in that way you can use, come back over here and add those values over here. Okay, so it will be used. Yeah, provide values similar to that. So this is another important interview question for us. What is the purpose of enable service SLA within the fallback activity? So why do we use this enable service SLA with fallback activity? Means what is the purpose? So whenever you are what do you say, execution is not happening properly, then you go with this particular option. Clear? Another one is service monitoring. Okay, if you want to monitor the service, what is happening and how it is you are executing, then you need to select this service monitoring as on. So you can see here, select service of you can see select service monitoring on. If you want to capture the clipboard status also, you can see here. You can select that. Service monitoring is determined based on the combination of dynamic system settings, service package, and service level config settings. Please refer help for more details. So basically, this is on service rest, right? If you are making it as on the service rest, okay, service rest, you are making it as on, but in your service package, okay, so the service package which you have used here, it is this new, right? So this is a service package, and here if you are here also you'll have that option. Okay, when I save it, you will be it will be coming up. Don't worry, I'm not saving, I didn't yet save this, right? Yeah, now let me save this. Yeah, it got saved now. So as soon as we save this service rest, if you go back to the service package, that will be coming under method. Can you see now? It came under methods. So you can see here service monitoring as defined on service rule. So if you select this not on defined on service rule and you are just selecting it as off, that means if your service package is off, even though your service rules service rule what is that, service monitoring is on, it's useless. Okay, so if it is off, then everything is off. But if you want make it on, okay, so irrespective of your service rules, irrespective of your service rule, whether it is on or off, your service package will monitor that particular rule. So where do you see those monitor those all things? Means in the under invocation history, it you will check. So I made it as on now. Okay, I made it as on. I'll also make this as on for now. Basically, whether it is on, even though it is not on also, that's fine, because that will take care of. If you click on view invocation history, then you can see what is happening, what all these things you can see here. Okay, so this is another interview question over here. Yeah, okay, so service rest, where is this? Yeah, now come back to the methods. So coming back to the methods, if you see here, there are get, post, put, patch, delete. So what's the what's the what do you say, when do we use get, when do we use post? These all things we need to know, and that would be one of the interview question also, when to use this get, post, and all. Okay, right? So get is used whenever you want to expose the data. One is whatever the input value or output value you want, whatever the input value you want to provide, that you will be exposing into your URL. In the URL itself, it would be coming up. And get is used for retrieving the records from the application. If there is a requirement talking about only retrieval, okay, only retrieval of your retrieval of what do you say, data, then you go for get method. And coming to the post method is used to create the things. Okay, if you want to create a record, if you want to create a case, if you want to update something in your application, then you go for this post method. Okay, so post method will have resource parameters, but for get there is no need of having those things. Okay, so if you see, post method will have this message data and all these things. but for get method you don't find that. Okay, post will have request body, and if you want to request anything for get, then you can use them under add under query string. You can add under the query string, and that would be taken care of by your activity. By your activity will be taken care of. So why are we creating now this service test? What is the purpose of creating the service test? Means our requirement is to create a case in our application. So as I am doing it as a creation, then I'll go for post. Then what about other things? Put, patch, and delete. Put, patch are similar to your post, but whenever you want to add only update the things, whenever you want to update few records, then you go for put. If you want to update few columns of record, then you go for patch. One or two, like that, 1 or 2 3 columns you want to update, you go for a patch. If you want to update a record, then you go for a put. If you want to create a record, you go for a post. And if you want to delete the record, then you go for a delete. So you can use any one of them. Is it like you have to create multiple service REST rules for each and every operation? Means no, not necessary. You can use only one what is that, one service test rule for all the other things also. Okay, but make sure your URL is proper. First only you have to make sure your URL is proper, so that you can use for each and every operation only one service test rule. It's not necessary to create again another service rest rule. Okay, one service rest rule will be fine. So now what do you want? I want to create a case.